In our world, mysteries and the unknown have always fascinated us. Among these mysteries, the phenomenon of UFOs stands out. On June 25, 2021, the U.S. government recently shed some light on this enduring mystery by releasing a 9-page preliminary report. Instead of UFOs, these sightings are now called Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAPs. This report marks a significant moment that has seen a renewed interest in UFOs. The skies above us hold countless secrets, and the quest to understand these unidentified visitors has never been more alive. Today, we'll explore the latest findings, historical incidents, and the ongoing quest to uncover what lies beyond our understanding. When did the UFO idea start? The idea of UFOs and life beyond Earth has a long history. People have wondered about beings from other worlds since ancient times. Philosophers, scientists, and religious thinkers used to argue about it, especially in the 1700s. They mostly agreed that there could be civilizations out there in space. In the 1800s, reports started coming in about strange sights in the sky. People said they saw flying ships, similar to the ones that sail on water. Some even described seeing ships powered by steam up in the air. Everything changed in the summer of 1947. That's when stories about flying objects in the sky really took off. People started to say these might be crafts from other planets. This is when the modern idea of UFOs, or flying saucers, began. Before this time, people thought about aliens and other worlds, but it was in 1947 that the idea of seeing their spacecraft in our skies became common. The year 1947. In 1947, a pilot named Kenneth Arnold became famous for an unusual reason. While flying near Mount Rainier in Washington, Arnold saw something unexpected. He noticed a shimmer in the sky that made him think he might crash into another aircraft. But instead of planes, Arnold saw 9 strange objects flying together. They had an odd shape and moved in a way he'd never seen before. After landing, Arnold shared his story with people at a nearby airport and then with journalists. He tried to explain the movement of the objects by comparing it to a saucer skipping on water. This comparison led to the term flying saucers, even though Arnold never used those exact words himself. The story of Arnold's sighting spread fast. Within 6 weeks, almost everyone in America had heard about flying saucers. This event marked the start of what many call the flying saucer era. Arnold's sighting wasn't an isolated incident. Soon, other people across the country reported seeing similar objects in the sky. The number of sightings grew so much that the U.S. Air Force started to investigate. The Roswell Incident. In 1947, the same year Kenneth Arnold reported seeing flying objects, something strange happened in Roswell, New Mexico. A rancher named W.W. Mac Brazel found a large area of mysterious debris near an Army airfield. Local newspapers quickly spread the story, suggesting it was the wreckage of a flying saucer. However, the U.S. military responded by saying it was just a weather balloon, even though photos in the newspaper seemed to show something different. The situation became even more suspicious in the 1950s. People in New Mexico saw figures with fake skin and bones falling from the sky. The military collected these figures quickly, which made some people think the government was hiding something. These figures were actually part of an Air Force experiment to test how pilots could survive falls. Years later, the military shared more information about the Roswell incident. They said the debris was actually from Project Mogul, a very secret project related to spying. This was meant to explain the confusion, but for many, it just added to the mystery and the belief that the government might not be telling the whole truth about UFOs and aliens. Area 51. Area 51 is a highly secretive military base located in the Nevada desert, and it has been the center of many UFO-related rumors and conspiracy theories for decades. Officially, this area is a remote detachment of Edwards Air Force Base and has been used for testing and developing advanced aircraft and weapons systems. The secrecy surrounding Area 51, combined with its confirmed role in experimental aircraft testing, has made it a focal point for speculation about UFOs and extraterrestrial activities. In the 1950s and 60s, during the height of the Cold War, Area 51 became known for its development of high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft. One of the most famous projects was Oxcart, aimed at creating a spy plane that could evade detection and fly over the Soviet Union to gather intelligence. This project led to the creation of the SR-71 Blackbird, a plane capable of flying at speeds over 2,000 miles per hour, and at altitudes that made it nearly untouchable by enemy defenses. Other aircraft, like the F-117 Nighthawk, which was the world's first operational stealth aircraft, and the A-12, a precursor to the SR-71, were also developed at Area 51. Many people began to believe that the unusual aircraft seen in the skies near Area 51 were not human-made, but were instead UFOs or alien technology being reverse-engineered by the US government. The rumors about Area 51 and extraterrestrial technology were further fueled by the lack of information from the government. For many years, the US government did not acknowledge the existence of Area 51, which only added to the mystery. It wasn't until 2013 that the CIA officially acknowledged the site's existence and its role in the U2 and Oxcart projects following a Freedom of Information Act request. Who were those looking into UFOs? Since 1947, the topic of UFOs has fascinated both the public and the government in the United States, but for different reasons. The Air Force started various projects to answer one main question: do UFOs pose a threat to national security? At the same time, the general public was intrigued by the mystery of flying saucers. People wondered about their origins and whether they were real. While some suggested aliens might be involved, this wasn't the most popular theory. Many believed these sightings were either secret US military experiments or advanced Soviet aircraft. The government's approach to UFOs was more secretive. Much of the Air Force's work was done out of public view, leading to speculation and conspiracy theories. Over time, declassified files revealed that some UFO sightings were secret military aircraft like the U-2 spy plane. The government's tight control over information only fueled public suspicion, with many people demanding full disclosure of what the government knew about UFOs. Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was created by the U.S. Air Force to understand and document unidentified aerial phenomena, more commonly known as UFOs. This project didn't start of nowhere. It was part of a series of investigations. Some of the people working on Project Sign also considered the possibility that these objects could be from other planets. Project Sign didn't last long, and was quickly followed by Project Grudge. Project Grudge was then replaced by Project Blue Book in 1952. This project turned out to be the longest and most comprehensive investigation into UFOs by the U.S. Air Force. It was based at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, and lasted until 1969. During its operation, Project Blue Book collected and analyzed over 12,000 reports of sightings and related events. The team behind Project Blue Book had a big task. They needed to examine each report and decide if it was something that could be explained or if it remained a mystery. Most of the time, they could find an explanation. These cases were labeled as identified. However, there was a small portion, about 6% of the reports, that couldn't be easily explained away. These were labeled as unidentified. For these cases, there wasn't enough information available to link them with any known phenomenon. The Robertson Panel and Condon Report. In the 1950s, America's interest in UFOs increased. A particularly intense moment came in the summer of 1952 when people near Washington, D.C.'s National Airport reported seeing unusual objects in the sky. These sightings were explained away as natural phenomena, but not everyone was convinced. The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, played a key role in responding to the growing public concern. They called for a group of expert scientists to examine the UFO phenomenon more closely. This led to the formation of the Robertson Panel in 1953, named after its leader, physicist H.P. Robertson. The panel included specialists in various fields like physics, astronomy, and rocket engineering. They spent 3 days reviewing evidence, including interviews with military personnel and examination of UFO photos and films. The Robertson panel concluded that most UFO sightings could be explained by natural or man-made objects like stars, planets, or balloons. They also found no evidence that UFOs were a threat to national security or that they supported the idea of extraterrestrial visitors, the ETH. However, the panel's report was partly kept secret until 1979. A second investigation, known as the Condon report, started in 1966 after the Air Force requested another review of UFO data. Led by physicist Edward U. Condon, this committee took a detailed look at 59 UFO cases. After extensive research, the Condon report, published in 1968, agreed with the Robertson panel's findings. The report argued that UFO sightings didn't show anything out of the ordinary and didn't justify further investigation. These investigations, especially the Condon report, influenced the decision to end Project Blue Book in 1969. By this time, public reports of UFO sightings had decreased, and the government concluded that UFOs didn't pose a significant mystery or threat. But some people believe this was just a way for the government to take away attention from their secret investigations into UFOs. Is it possible that these projects are still active today? Possible explanation of UFO sightings. When people report seeing UFOs, they often believe these objects come from outer space or are secret military crafts. Their belief is usually based on how the objects move, like flying in formation, making sudden changes in direction or moving silently. Some UFOs also change brightness or color or have unusual shapes, which adds to the mystery. However, seeing is not always believing. Our eyes can easily be tricked, especially when we look at bright lights like the planet Venus, which might seem to move even when it's still. Astronomical objects can also appear to follow a car, which can be confusing for drivers. Judging the distance and speed of a UFO is tricky too, because it depends on guessing the size of the object, and often there is no reference point like clouds or mountains to help make a good guess. Sometimes, reflections from windows or glasses can mix with what we see, making us think we see something unusual. Cameras can also create misleading images, turning small lights into what looks like flying saucers. And that's the fascinating history of UFOs. If you're amazed by its journey, give us a like, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Until next time, take care.